For breakfast, I decided to make a homemade McMuffin using these English muffins. So I toasted those and then I mixed together an egg with some extra egg white for extra protein and then scrambled those together. While the pan for the eggs was preheating, I microwaved these chicken and maple breakfast sausage patties. After the eggs were done, I added a slice of reduced fat cheddar cheese that I bought from Target. Then it was just time to assemble everything together. I was looking like a mess in the morning, but really enjoyed this sausage McMuffin. For lunch, I wanted to try this new salmon couscous salad recipe. Started out by heating some oil in a pot, adding the couscous, toasting until I could see that there was some browning action going on, then added water. I let it come back to a boil and then lower the heat and let it simmer over the stove covered. While that was cooking, I got started on the cucumber feta dressing by mixing some non-fat Greek yogurt with lime zest, lime juice, and water to thin everything out, and then I mixed everything together until smooth. Then I added some fat-free crumbled feta cheese to the mixture along with some ground cumin. Then I realized I forgot to chop up the herbs, so I chopped up some cilantro, parsley, and dill for the dressing, and then I mixed the Greek yogurt mixture with all of the herbs and diced cucumber. For the salmon, I made sure to dry the entire fillet with a paper towel, which is actually really essential to get a good texture on the fish, and then I portioned out fillets. Then I put it skin side down in a hot preheated grill pan and immediately lowered the heat, and I flipped in the last few minutes of cooking when it was almost done for that crispy skin. Last step was to break apart the salmon and the skin and mix everything together to make this beautiful tangy salad. So it's 1:45 in the afternoon and I want to eat something sweet. I got these from Target yesterday. Okay, so I know at this point some of you might be thinking,
what the f is she doing with the Kit Kat bar when she's trying to lose weight?
So this might be a good time to go over some ground rules I set for myself when actively trying to lose weight. Alright, let's talk ground rules. Number 1 is to be in a modest calorie deficit. A calorie deficit is literally the only way to lose weight, period. This is a scientific fact. And before someone says,
oh, I've lost weight before because I did intermittent fasting.
Or,
oh, my friend lost weight even though she wasn't even trying.
Yeah, it's because whatever you were doing was putting you in a calorie deficit. It is literally the laws of thermodynamics.
In this house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics.
The second part of this is that I'm saying modest calorie deficit. After very many years of trying fad diets and reading articles about how I can lose 10 pounds in 6 weeks or 20 pounds in 6 weeks, I realized that those diets are not healthy, they're not sustainable, and they make me pretty miserable even trying. So that is why I'm going for a modest calorie deficit. Number 2 is that because calorie deficit is key, there is no such thing as bad foods that are not allowed. This gives me a ton of food freedom because I can eat anything I want as long as I am in a overall calorie deficit. This is why I'm not into like keto, paleo, Whole30 diets, because I love food. I love every kind of food, especially carbs and sugar. Giving up those things to lose weight is not sustainable to me and it doesn't make me happy. So this gives me a ton of freedom. I can eat whatever I want. I'm not saying that I eat McDonald's fries every day, but I can have those once in a while if I want to. Third is to eat a high protein diet. I'm not saying that you need to eat high protein to lose weight. You don't even need high protein necessarily to be healthy. But it is very well documented in scientific research that if you want to build or maintain muscle mass, you need to eat high protein. That means that if you're trying to maximize fat loss but not lose weight from losing muscle mass, high protein is going to be extremely important for you to keep in mind. So if you want the gains, you want that booty, you should eat high protein. Last rule I have for myself, and it's probably one of the most important, is to give myself self-compassion if I'm not perfect in following the above 3 rules. I think it's really easy to fall into this trap of guilt tripping yourself when you make a mistake that you think you shouldn't have made, like maybe you ate a pastry that you weren't planning on because you went to a coffee shop. At the end of the day, aesthetics is not the most important thing in the world, even though there's nothing wrong with wanting to change your physique. What is important is you living your life, you spending time with your loved ones and being happy. So there are going to be times where life happens. So if there's a day where I'm not in a deficit or a day where I don't get as much protein as I should have, then that's okay. What's going to be more important is my overall consistency, and I'm not going to trip over 1 or 2 off days or if I go on vacation or something like that. I want to be able to enjoy my life, and I am giving myself permission to do that.
Alright, so now that we have that covered, back to my Kit Kat review.
It tastes like a wafery Thin Mint, like the Girl Scout cookie. It's really good.
You want a snack? You want a snack? Can you sit? You can go down. Oh, yes, good boy. Oh, I dropped one.
I could tell something was up. You started changing. Stop hitting me up. You started flexing. I thought we had a thing. Thought it was our time. Guessing it was a lie. I felt so hard. Then you left and broke my heart.
I don't always remember, but on the mornings that I do, I like to take a women's multivitamin. This one from Rainbow Light is my favorite one to take right now because it has probiotics and superfood blend, whatever that means.
Is he the reason that you left? Don't wanna know.
Decided to go with a sweet breakfast this morning with chocolate chip waffles, my favorite waffle mix. I'll link it down below, but it's super easy to use and has high protein. You just mix water, a little bit of oil if you're making waffles, and then mix it up.
Constantly checking your IG stories, waiting for a post to see.
I topped my chocolate chip waffles with berries and Cool Whip Light since I didn't have whipped cream, and also drizzled some sugar-free maple syrup on top. Canadians, don't come at me. I actually think the sugar-free syrup is pretty good.
He left and broke my heart. Left and broke my heart.
For lunch, I wanted something pretty easy, so I went with chickpea pasta with some spicy Italian pork sausage that I got from Whole Foods the other day.
I wanna know, is he the reason that you left? I wanna know.
This is actually my favorite brand of pasta sauce, and it went amazing with the spicy pork sausage.
Bother with the text if you're back with your ex. Is he the reason? The reason I wanna know. Is he the reason you don't talk no more? The reason that your love has gone? Is he the reason?
Looks so much better than
You
that.
could have said this ain't what you
For dinner, we decided to use these flatbread pizza crusts to make mini barbecue chicken pizzas.
Is he the reason that you left? I wanna know. Is he the reason I can't call you anymore? Why even bother with the text if you're back with your ex? Is he the reason? The reason I wanna know. Is he the reason that you left?
For breakfast the next morning, I decided to use the one leftover flatbread pizza crust to make a breakfast taco, if you will. And I decided to cook this whole package of maple chicken breakfast sausages for today's breakfast and also for the rest of the week.
Count all the stars in the sky as they pass by your face. Take a trip up to Mars, hold you tight in my arms all the way. First time out of space. Well, baby, I would give you the galaxy.
For lunch, I wanted to make spicy chicken lettuce cups, and if you try anything from this video, I highly recommend trying this recipe with this amazing stir-fry sauce. It's 2 tablespoons soy sauce, 1 teaspoon fish sauce, and this is my favorite brand of fish sauce, then 1 tablespoon of honey or dark brown sugar, and 1 to 2 tablespoons chili garlic sauce or sambal oelek, or you can sub with Sriracha, and whether you use 1 or 2 tablespoons will really depend on your spice tolerance. Make sure you mix that really well to dissolve all the honey or sugar and then set it aside. Then mince a few cloves of garlic and a few stalks of scallions. Then prepare any other veggies you want to throw into the stir fry. I used onions here, and I also threw in carrots that were pre-shredded that you'll see later, but mushrooms would be really good too. Once the veggies had some color on them, I added the ground chicken. Then I stirred occasionally to let it cook and started breaking it up once parts were becoming browned. As soon as all the chicken is cooked, you'll want to throw in that stir-fry sauce from earlier and then cook that all together, stirring occasionally. Now it'll look kind of liquidy at first, but in a few minutes the liquid will almost completely reduce and cover the chicken. And here is the finished product on top of butter lettuce leaves, topped with more scallions and some more sriracha. Seriously, so good, and one of my favorites for the week. And for dinner time, we had homemade shrimp spring rolls that we rolled up ourselves. Not the prettiest spring rolls in the world, but they were super good. The dipping sauce is really key for these, and I ended up making a low-calorie version that ended up pretty good, so I'll leave a recipe in the description box. For breakfast, I decided I wanted a lox bagel, and sadly, I don't live in New York, so this is the best that I had to work with. For lunch, I wanted to make a Greek-inspired lemony chicken soup. Lately, I've been making this once a week because it's a really good filling meal packed with a ton of veggies and protein, and it's pretty easy to make in my Instant Pot. I'll leave a rough Instant Pot recipe for this in the description box because honestly, I got really hungry while this was cooking and ended up not filming every step.
I've always given you my best behavior. You gave me everything I asked. But I've grown up in this whole thing got stranger. I'm sick of sitting on your lap. Santa, forgive me, 'cause this year I'm done being polite.
We wanted something super easy and convenient for dinner because it was already late, so we opted for this chicken tikka masala from Costco. It comes in pouches and all you have to do is microwave it, so just ate it with some rice. And then had some raspberries and light Cool Whip for dessert. I went sweet and savory for Friday's breakfast. I put together a yogurt bowl with granola and berries, some avocado toast, some chicken sausage, and an egg. And if you're wondering what the black stuff is on my avo toast, it's actually dried black garlic from Trader Joe's. It wasn't bad, but I don't think I'd buy it again.
I like sativa in my milk and cookies. I light it brighter than the tree. And maybe I'm more selfish than I should be.
I had plans the next day to see a few friends at an outdoor gathering and eat together, so I did some prep work on Friday for the food that I was bringing on Saturday. That included a milk tea tiramisu and a caramelized onion galette.
My chimney, got all your baggage killing my vibe. You're saying it goodbye, I'm over this. Your promises are hard to believe. Baby, I don't need your gifts, your freaky little lips. Yeah, who the hell are you to judge me? 'Cause it's nice to be.
The next morning for breakfast, I decided to have another breakfast sandwich, this time with avocado and again with some raspberries. And then I got started with finishing off the caramelized onion galette to bring to the get-together. We're going straight into Sunday morning because there was actually so much good food at the get-together on Saturday that I was full for the rest of the day. I ended up making an egg and cheese sandwich with the leftover caramelized onion from yesterday. And for lunch, we decided to make a spicy beef instant pot chili. And I know it sounds weird, but a tablespoon of fish sauce and soy sauce in the chili gives it a really good boost of umami flavor. For dinner, we wanted to use up a bunch of chard that our friends gave us from their vegetable garden, so we decided to cook it in a West African-inspired coconut shrimp stew. And just like that, that was the last meal of the week. Hope you enjoyed and subscribe to stick around.